Hello, this is Benny, and as you know, in this channel we analyze materials and books to learn Spanish. Today we'll be analyzing books that are bad, that are very, very bad for your Spanish. And some of them are actually very famous, but you need to ask yourself this. If these books are so famous, why aren't we all speaking perfect Spanish by now? And some of the answers are, I believe that in these books themselves, you can check the books and see that some of the things just don't add up. For example, one of the main books that they're recommending is Madrigal's Magic Key to Spanish. It's like a very famous book, but nobody seems to mention that it was written in 1953. The book has like 60 years or more, and people keep on buying it. Somehow they expect the material to be correct after 60 years. It would be like trying to learn English with a book that is like, "How do you do, sir?" It's very, very strange, and it's so old that the book was illustrated by Andy Warhol. It's I would say the most interesting thing about this book, because the content is outdated. The material is particularly Mexican. It's only going to be valid in Mexico, and I would say it has a lot of mistakes. Academics have been talking and writing about this book, and it's one of the worst books to learn with. You will be learning with lots of mistakes, so I would totally discard that book. The next one is Spanish for Dummies. I would also discard that one. I have tried it myself, I bought it, and I have it in my collection. I don't know why, I'm not throwing it away, but it's utter rubbish. The author is not even Spanish or from Latin America even. It has like several mistakes. It's too dense. It's not for dummies at all. It's like very complicated things from the very beginning. It's explaining us how to place the accents at a level that we're not capable of understanding much. So I would totally discard Spanish for Dummies. The Complete Idiot's Guide to Learning Spanish. It's written by Gail Stern. It doesn't sound like a very Spanish name to me, and the content is not nice at all. I would say that it's basically one of these books that seem to be all about marketing and just like having nice pictures, nice drawings, but by the name of the author you can already see that it's not gonna be a very Spanish-like book. And I forgot to say that the author of Spanish for Dummies is some Susanna Wald. It's the same problem. I would say that if you can choose a book written by a native, you know that the material is going to be correct, all of it, 100%. It's going to be difficult to find a native who doesn't know his own language and who has mistakes when writing about it, or when dealing with complex forms of conditional, subjunctive, and tenses like that. But if you have a native teacher writing a book, I would go with this one, and instead of books written by people that are not even from the country. It's a risk. And Breaking Out of Beginner Spanish, it was published in 1994 by Joseph J. Keenan. The same problem, I would say. It was already a bit old when it was written, like the vocabulary, the things, the structures are somehow not valid now after 25 years, or even like, I don't know, like it has been more than 20 years since this book was it's been more than 20 years since this book was published, and somehow it doesn't seem to address the main problems of students, I would say. So I would totally discard this one. I bought it, and I regret it a bit. I regret it a bit. It was like back then I had no idea which materials to buy or how to learn, so I just went with the popular ones. I checked the most bought books, but then I had a teacher who was explaining to me that if these books were so good, why aren't people speaking Spanish all the time, and I think he's right. You need to find books that are perfect, and from there you can already build something. But if books already have outdated material and mistakes, as the case, it's not a very good approach. The last book that I would totally not recommend is Ultimate Spanish by Irwin Stern. That it's from 1998. The same problem. It's not a native author. It has several mistakes using the conditional. It has several mistakes using the pronouns to and usted, and it's very, very old. It's from 1998. I don't know what you were doing in 1998, but I was probably playing with my friends in the playground. And if you can choose a book to learn that is more modern, I would go for that one. You already have my recommendations for basic level, medium level, and advanced level. They are from 3 different publishing houses, 3 different authors, and it's good to mix materials. And the books that I have on this list, I totally would not recommend them to anyone. And if you're using them, and for you, it's if they're good for you in your opinion, I'm fine with that. But you would be probably doing much better with all the books, and the things you learn then will have some mistakes, or might have outdated words or materials. Imagine if somebody was learning with a book from 20 years ago, and he was talking about how groovy a party is. We would all be laughing, thinking, wow, why are you speaking like that? You sound like Austin Powers. And that's all for today. We'll be having next video soon. Thank you for joining us, and have a nice day.